Welcome to Sissues. We are two sisters with issues and a need to work them out, and we're inviting you along for the ride.
Here we are taking the big things we have in common. Our love for Outlander, inappropriate humor, and why people do the things they do. Mix this up with our dirty lady mo's, and this podcast is born.
But don't worry, we'll explore other issues too.
Because when you have sisters, you have issues. If you are easily offended or don't appreciate the creative use of colorful Canadian cursive language, this is not the podcast for you.
Well, hello, sister.
Hey, biatch.
Well, welcome back to Sissues, everybody. We are on our Outlander rewatch. We are on season 5, episode 11, Journey Cake.
My name's Cher.
And I'm Phyl.
Journey cake, journey cake, journey cake.
I can't believe it. This is the second last episode.
Penultimate. It is what we call it.
I know, but what are we going to do after this shit?
We are going to have very interesting conversations. We're going to have conversations about, our favorite episodes. We're going to have conversations about cast members and what they're up to in their professional life. We are going to maybe gossip just a little bit, not like mean gossip.
Not
we're not gonna
inquire gossip.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that because that's fucking nasty.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna light fun stuff, like talking about stuff that they're doing at because little conventions are starting again, like Outlandish Vancouver, which is going to be happening in Seattle this year. So maybe we'll talk to some people that are there. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a live podcasting by giving somebody a call and talking to them online and stuff like that. So we're just gonna have some fun with it, and we're gonna some expressions that come from Outlander. We're gonna go to where those expressions came from. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna still have our sister stories. So yeah, we're gonna still be here. We just won't spend an hour watching Outlander and talking about it. We'll do that once it comes back on air again.
If anybody is new to Sissues, then they can just go all the way back to the beginning. And by the time you're done, season 6 is going to be here. And then we're going to give you the play-by-play on season 6 for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. And we'll do it along, right after it airs. And, we'll have the slice down, and yeah, it's going to be fun all over again.
Oh, and then we have bees even before that. Coming November 23rd.
It is. But I'll be reading it. You still won't have caught up, I'm sure.
Listen, it's my life's mission right now to catch up. I have to catch up. I'm only on book 6. I have to get catched up. I have to get catched up. That is in the red stuff you keep in your fridge, right?
You have to get relished in your catched up.
Because I can't have that big whole gap, because we know the series is different, of course, than the books.
She can't have that big whole gap.
No, I can't have a gap. I don't like a big gap anyway.
Don't like a big holy gap.
Okay, back on track, people. Let's get back to our rewatch. Make sure if you're watching on Netflix, please make sure that you skip the recap. And this is actually a cold open. And Miss Cher is going to count us down.
We are going to count you down. And as per usual, when I say a 1 or the reasonable facsimile of a 1, you are going to hit play. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Damn, girl, I never thought you were going to get there. Holy
every once in a while you have to drag it out.
I know.
Where thy be?
Okay, the trees are already starting to turn here.
Yeah, here too.
My gosh.
Yeah. Alberta, it just happens. Look at those. Claire's horse even has a wiggle.
Yeah, it does.
It has a little wiggle on it.
It's so funny that Jamie's giving her all this headache over just because she bought peanuts. Like, he doesn't understand. What are you going to feed them to the animals? Like,
well, yeah,
why would you waste money on that?
Well, yeah, because peanuts back then, that was more like animal feed.
Yeah.
Why would people want to eat this shit, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh dear, what have we come upon?
Now, this showed up, I think, earlier in the books, did it not?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
it was different.
Right. Yeah, it was more along where it was the people. We'd be going into a whole different kind of storyline.
Yes, exactly.
From the book. So to explain it would be blah, 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 blah.
Right, exactly.
But yes, the family was dead, and then there was the girl who was not quite dead, but suffering horribly. And so it's kind of there was a lot.
And in the books, they found a couple of people in the woods, and so determined it was a shooting and then a burning and and all of that. So and it's kind of similar, right?
Yeah, there's a bow, an arrow. Sorry. Which this is be very, very unusual if it was but it does come, like they're saying, very unusual for natives to do this. But we did see it at the beginning of the season where Buddy was shot with an arrow and his house burned down because he killed Medicine Woman Adawahi. So this is, and when they're picking up all of these charred boards and everything, this would have been really fucking hot because things were still smoking.
Can you imagine how much pain she would be in? Like, I know this part was not in the book. Like, of course, they didn't find. Yeah, they found a girl, but she wasn't alive, right?
Yes, she was.
So, I don't remember that part.
Oh yes. This did happen in the books. Yeah, it was where Roger. Yeah, it was. This was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have blanked it out.
Maybe I did.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty heartbreaking. And
it's
sad.
I know he's looking at Jamie for guidance, but I think he also knows what needs to be done, right? It makes me sad that they did it that way by smothering her.
There's not much other, like, I mean, it's that or shooting her, or like there's not very many other ways that you can do it. And at this point, this is an actual actress playing the part.
Yes.
As well. A really young girl. And could you imagine sitting through all of that makeup and and
they didn't even give her a chance to talk at all.
She wouldn't be able to. She's like, her in her throat's completely burned.
But they didn't know that. They didn't even give her a chance. They can hear her breathing, so something's getting through.
Yeah, but barely anything. You can pretty much tell that she cannot get a word out. Like, it's like
I feel so bad for her.
The poor girl is fried. Like, there would not be any clothes on her if her skin was that, like, I mean, that I'm not gonna go picking in semantics for that, but it's
well, I do like the fact that they, and this is throughout the entire series, where they bury the dead, you know what I mean?
And much more so in season 5, I found that they had Jamie really connect to his spiritual side, or his religious side, if you really get deep into it. They did have more of that, I found. The director of this episode is Jamie Payne, who again is one of our very favorite directors. He just has such a different eye for things. I really do enjoy this episode. It is a little different again, but I really did like, they set it up with this it's not exactly what you would expect. I don't think the opening, the cold open that we had, because it doesn't really pertain very much to the episode itself.
Well, and I found, especially in season 5, each of them kind of have their own individual story, and they only carry a piece over, like it really is, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, right? They don't go back a whole lot. It tends to go a lot more forward.
Right. And it's so funny because on IMDb, somebody actually wrote that was a goof in the story, that there was plastic wrap. And that was a tip off to the books, because in the books, Diana had written that Claire had brought plastic wrap with her, wrapped a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in plastic wrap, and she had let it go, just blown onto the wind. So that was a nod to the books.
Absolutely. And it's funny, when Brianna went through, she did it with wax paper.
Yeah.
So, oh, I love this part. This is when they finally know whether or not Jemmy can travel, right?
Right. Yeah. He's like, I don't want it anymore.
And it sounds like he has an English accent.
But it's Scottish.
It's so funny that she says it's warm, and he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, because stone would really be cold, right?
Yeah.
But to them, and it snaps in his hands, like it breaks. So this shows if it's warm to Brianna, but it's hot to Jemmy.
Exactly.
This shows you that, well, Brianna has some power with the gem, but Jemmy has a lot of power. So people have to remember, like, this is a little hint here about Jemmy's power with the stones. Yeah.
And the fact that, he covers his ears and says it's really loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where it's just a buzz to Claire and Brianna and Roger. So this is kind of an idea where one person in the family can travel. Okay. But Brianna and Roger can both travel, and they made a baby together, Jeremiah. So his abilities are twice as strong. So this also gives everybody the hint. Guess who Jeremiah's real father is?
Exactly. Two travelers make a super traveler. And I like the fact they're still having that conversation, and Ian is still there, and no one has still told Ian.
Exactly. And Ian's like, I know some shit's going on here.
Exactly. And I hated this part so much. And I was kind of mad at Jamie as well. Yeah, you know what? You kind of use them, but you're not willing to help them.
Yep. And you see right over Skeevy McSkeevish, these two guys right here. We have Wendigo Donner and Arvin Hodgepile. They only call him Hodgepile because if we call him Arvin, it kind of takes the whole
Gotcha.
Hey, Arvin, but Hodgepile. So these are the Committee of Safety, and this is the group that you could say that they call themselves the Committee of Safety, trying to protect everything, but that you have your outliers of this Committee of Safety that are just a bunch of bullies.
Yeah,
really.
Absolutely.
They're just a horrible group that will do anything to get to the means. And they are the, freshly burnt cabin people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jamie's just Jamie's telling them right now, right?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't attend his wound anyway.
No, let it fester, Claire.
Yeah.
Claire, fester it.
Good. So, then just leave it.
So Wendigo Donner is a native First Nations, but he's riding with this Committee of Safety. Yeah. So he's somebody that you definitely want to keep your eye on. And him just spitting on the ground like that just made me want to kick him in the face.
Well, he's just grody anyway.
He is. Grody to the max, meow.
Right. Totally.
It's like you have a nasty infection. No, you are a nasty infection.
Absolutely. And she knows exactly what went down. And I'm surprised. I know it's her medical training and blah, 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 but she didn't need to offer.
No,
she really didn't need to offer.
No, she's just I love Claire so much.
Yes.
But she just needs to stop helping everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. So this Arvin Hodgepile, the one that's wearing the this guy here, right here.
Yeah.
He's another one. He's another one that needs a kick in the dick.
Yeah.
Like just irk.
And they're just having the conversation whether or not they think that it's the native people that are doing this. And of course, Ian's got his back up. He's like, no, you know, I guarantee this isn't what's happening. And he's kind of getting a little ticked off, you know, that they won't kind of get off that whole subject.
Right. Right. Well, that's what we call deflecting, folks.
Yeah.
Right. You know, if I do something and I don't want to be blamed for it, the first thing that I'm going to do is put the target on somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. To make sure that they get blamed for it. So I don't. So nobody even considers the fact that it was me. Right. So, I mean, that's what we do when we're kids. Yeah. You know, spill the cookie jar, break the cookie jar. Well, who did it? Phyllis did it.
I did not. You did it, you wench. But right here, and right here, he tells Jamie, he's like, hey, when you needed the militia, I gave you people. And now you're saying you're too busy, you know, making alcohol to come help everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Ian's like, you know what? We can take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
But the fact is that, okay, well, you can take care of yourselves against who?
Exactly. And who would it be against if they turned down the offer? Right. And it really isn't an offer. It's a test.
Right. It surely is. And
now, of course, now they know that Jemmy can travel. So, of course, the next big question is,
when
do they?
So, and it's more like, when will they? Because Claire, you know, here we go.
Here we go.
Big confrontation. It's like, you better tell me now. He's like, no, we're not talking about the Browns, buddy. Like, no.
Yeah, it's time. And it is well beyond the time that Ian needs to be told.
Yeah. Because he knows about, like, he was there in the village when they started talking about Ottertooth and this gem. He knows how they reacted to it. Now this shit's happening with it on the ridge. Come on, bring it.
Yeah. And I love that he gives kind of the history behind, you know, the native thought behind all of it. You know, this is why they think someone holds the opal, right? Because they have a connection.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And he knows. He's like, I've always said, you know, there's something about my Auntie Claire.
Yeah.
Well, come on. You know, you gotta tell me the truth now.
Yeah.
And I don't, my cousin doesn't just pop out of, you know, thin air after nobody's known about her.
Yeah. And I love that, you know, I said, you know, I wouldn't ask any questions, you know, up until now. And I think he deserves them. He 100% deserves it. So.
Oh, and this book. Yeah. The book from Ottertooth.
Yeah.
And
it's in Latin, written in Latin.
Yeah.
And of course, Jamie knows how to read Latin.
Yeah. And that was a part of the books too, where Jamie had tried to teach Ian how to speak Latin.
Yeah.
And he taught him some of his stuff got through, but Ian was more of a, you know, he didn't really want to learn it. He wanted to do other things, but he did learn some.
Yeah. Well, I love how this whole conversation went down though. And I'm so happy that they finally tell him.
Well, I don't think that they had a choice at this point, because he knew something was up, and he knew something big was up. And that she said ballpoint pen. He's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who or what are you?
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah. It's about time.
Yeah.
And it would be a hell of a lot easier if she was just a fairy. Like if she could just
Right.
say, I'm a fairy. You'd be like, okay, I knew it.
Yeah. And you know what? And just to be completely honest with him and just tell him everything, you know?
Mhm. Which is, it's really hard to be able to wrap your brain around something so convoluted,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I mean, Ian would be, see, you're a fairy.
Yeah. I'm not a fairy.
But it's so much easier to say that. Yeah. So, and Roger and Brianna, and it all starts to make so much more sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. Well, of course. For most of the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They wouldn't understand and they'd probably burn your house down.
And they seem so proud that Murtaugh did. But I think in Ian's heart, he's like, you should have told me earlier too, and now hopefully they tell him everything. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think they do. But that's the thing. And Ian kind of had the look on his face like, well, I figured that out. And the truth is that Murtaugh, like he was starting to see that things were really weird. So that's when they had to tell him. Ian was starting to figure out shit was really weird. And they had to tell him. I mean, I'd love to see, Cesar, not Cesar, sorry, that's his real name. Fergus.
Yes.
And I'd love for them to do the same with him. But will they?
Yeah.
I think it's until people really start questioning them, they don't say anything.
Yeah. Well, and here's Ulysses, of course, back in the previous episode, he actually killed Squirmy Weasel Guy to protect Jocasta, but ultimately knowing that doesn't matter the reasons why, he will be wanted for, by the authorities for that.
If a black man, a slave, doesn't matter. If a black man spills the blood or kills a white man, they're sentenced to death. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I love that they're protecting him right now until they can find a solution.
Yeah.
And
there he is having to stay in the shag shed.
Yeah. Well, that was their first little home on the ridge.
Well, yeah. And it's also where
Jocasta bangs Jocasta. Yeah. Like I can smell her now.
Smells like sex in here.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he's taken off and he's letting them know that he wasn't actually a slave.
Yeah, and this was a big surprise to them, right? He actually hasn't been considered a slave for a very long time. You know,
he lived the life of one.
Yeah.
But he had been emancipated.
Yeah.
By Jocasta.
And witnessed by Gerald Forbes.
Yeah.
Little bit of irony.
Yeah. So, but being a free man really meant very little back then.
Yeah.
Because you could be a free man, walk off the property of the person that freed you, and somebody else could capture you, and it was all done. Didn't matter what your paperwork said.
No, because that paperwork could be easily burned, give you a new name, and you just.
Yep. That's the way it was.
Starts from the slave's perspective is that, I have this piece of paper, I'm safe now, but it really isn't. No. Not even anywhere close.
And here we go with the bed. I want to call it a bedpan, but
it's a hot pocket.
Well, now
it's a hot pocket,
but you call it a hot pocket, and that's just like a bready thing filled with cheese.
No, because he's not putting cheese and meat in his bed.
No, but he is putting like.
But it gives you a hot pocket,
a hot pan. There.
No, you
That's
don't lay
better.
on the hot pan. You lay in the hot pocket.
No, that's still a food group thingy. No, no.
Well, I like that they're having this conversation about,
Mhm.
them traveling. And now they know
Yeah.
Jemmy is a biological son. So I think that Roger just has this sense of relief gone. It's no longer a question. It is
Yeah.
what it is, right?
Mhm. Yeah. And well, I think they're like, this could be proof. Now it's pretty much proof, guys. Like,
Yeah.
we're, especially if they were to really think about it, that Jimmy's like power is
Yeah.
twice as strong as theirs,
Exactly.
right? And it was, I don't know if they captured how obvious that was, just
I think
because
they did.
it's just that they're not even talking about it.
No, and I think in the moment they did. And I think if you're looking for that reaction, you got it. You got the message clear as a bell.
Mhm.
But if you weren't looking for that message, well, maybe he gets it from Brianna. And it's not, because
Mhm.
it was so hot and so loud.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But still, they might just be thinking, oh, just because he's little,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
yeah.
maybe Bonnet was a traveler.
No.
Exactly.
Well,
I think the storyline is trying to tell you people that, yes, he is the father. Thank you, Maury Povich.
Yep. Yeah, you could see it on there, eh?
Yeah.
It's 99.9%
sure. You are the father.
Gosh, I think it's so cool that they have this whole set that is just built in the middle of,
Yeah.
Oh, look at Lizzie. You have a visitor, sir. And then she's like, oh my God, I can't look at this guy in the eye. He freaks me out. He's so intimidating to her. It's funny because to most other people, he's like such a dude.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's John. Everybody loves John. Okay. Well.
Yeah. I love John. Yeah. I like him a lot too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so many rumblings on social media right now. John's not returning in season 6. He's not coming back. And
he wasn't.
Oh my gosh.
There was pictures of him, wasn't there? In season 6?
It's so funny, and they're commenting back that no, there hasn't been any pictures released of him, but everybody's commenting that he says he's not coming back, and it's because they're thinking of the spin-off that they've pulled them out. And I'm like, you know what, people, until you hear it from the horse's mouth, stop it. Stop listening to the gossip crap out there. And they're also twisting his words as well. You know what I mean? So just wait until you see it, and then let's talk about it after.
Oh, and there they are roasting the peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this really, I hate the idea. And it was just so bad that, when I was watching it, and I knew what was in the books, how this story played out with Brianna and Roger going back. And I was like, what are they doing? Oh my God. And I just wasn't sure how they were going to play it. Because of course, some things they just don't adapt the same way. And I'm always excited about what they have planned, because the writers are amazing on this show. So I'm like, they're choosing another adventure for me. Cool. But I was really, really wondering what was going to happen with it. And I love this, where Ian is thinking of the possibilities.
Yeah.
Like the possibilities of time travel. Like, what can I do? Can I change my story? Can they help me change my story? And that was almost heartbreaking, because you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's,
Well, and even the questions about what if you stayed and tried to change things, and she's like, he tries bringing back Culloden with Claire and Jamie. Yeah, they were able to save a few men from Lollybrook, but that was it.
Yeah. But see, and he wants to see if he can change things with his wife.
Yeah.
And he's like, he wants to go, and he wants to, like, it, that he's thinking of those things too. It just shows that the wheels have been turning for him since he found out. And this hope that he had that, he could possibly change things for him and his wife. It's another heartbreak.
And of course, we don't know that, right? Because he still hasn't come out with that information. Yes. Well, she asked him, does it have something to do with why you left the Mohawk? And he
said it, Phyllis.
No, what I'm saying is what Claire just asked him. Does it have something to do with you wanting why you left the Mohawk? And he said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I can't change it. And then he walked away.
That was after he had said, though.
His wife. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the reason why he left still is a mystery.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was in that mindset that he wanted to try.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I didn't even realize that he was still there establishing his own land and stuff like that. I thought he was already gone back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, these two and their friendship, you can call it. Like, I think Lord John has shown that he has these two lives. He's got this life where he's a soldier and William's father and stuff like that, but he also has, he's a part of the Fraser family.
Yeah.
In this really strange way that he can just keep on dipping his toe in it and feeling like he's immersed.
Well, and now he has to leave because William is now an earl. So he's got to prepare him for that role. So that's why he has to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course, he brought a little something along for Jamie.
This was nice that he did this, because now this will be the second picture that he owns of him.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other one's at the bottom of the ocean, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Didn't he lose the pictures at the bottom of the ocean when they got shipwrecked?
Not that he...
Brianna and the other cameo that he had of...
Maybe in the book, but it never showed that in the show.
Well, I just thought it was...
Because remember, the ship it beached itself. So it didn't actually go down to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, I thought, though, that those things were lost. Oh, that's a nice thing about having an artist in the family.
Yeah.
You can get pictures.
Yes, exactly. Well, come on. You know what? She was an engineer. She should have come up with a camera. That wouldn't have freaked people out.
Right? Not yet, anyway. I think there was cameras by then, anyhow. Like the big old ones.
Just light refraction anyway.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
I'm sure an engineer knows a little bit about that.
You expected her to do so much in the little time.
I wanted her to,
there. Holy crap. You wanted her to do indoor plumbing. You wanted her to do cameras. You wanted her to do steam engines. You wanted her to do, holy crap. How much time do you think that poor girl had?
You know what?
Here Claire wants a little tail. She wants a piece of tail. So she's like getting ready. And she's like, all right, humana.
And you know what this reminds me of? It actually reminds me of Little House on the Prairie and Lemon Verbena.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it was such a thing to put on perfume then, right?
Yeah. And dude conks out on her. She's like, oh, well, so much for that idea.
And it's funny, though. She doesn't begrudge him. She just kind of snickers to herself, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I wonder, I always laughed, is this a hot flash?
Yes, it is a hot flash.
Yeah.
Claire is having a hot flash and her nightie is all wet. She's like, oh
Yeah.
God. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know all about those hot flashes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But you know what? It's all right. She cools off. And then somebody wakes up.
Yeah.
Fine. It's
that's
all
too
good.
funny. Yeah.
But he sure is concerned.
Uh-huh.
That's all right. As long as the hot flash passes before he, grabs a hold of her, then it's all good. Because if you're in the middle of a hot flash and your husband hugs you,
away. There is no such thing as hugging during a hot flash.
No, she will punch you in the throat.
Yeah. And a good husband knows just by looking at your face whether or not you need a hug.
Exactly. Yeah. No, she's like, no, I'm just hot. Super hot.
Yeah.
Smell like a sow. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Now, this is the point where Claire becomes the midnight snack.
That's so gross. Jeez.
But it's true.
Toothpick close by.
Nom, nom.
That's too funny.
You know exactly what you have for dinner. Well, like I said,
she seasoned it. Mm-hmm. So, add a little bit of salt.
There you go. Vinegar, dill.
Oh, good God. I don't think they shove dill up there for flavor.
I didn't say up there.
Well, she doesn't have like dill laying around.
Gunpowder?
Oh, good God. No, he smelled like gunpowder. It didn't smell like gunpowder. Good God. You're getting the lines all mixed up.
I'm just trying to, keep things. Ooh, somebody smells like manure. I don't think manure is manly.
Well, I like now that he realizes that she had her perfume on and he knows that's an invitation. And now he's feeling a little bit bad that he missed it. So yes, buddy, you've got some making up to do and you have to give it to Jamie. He does a really great job of it.
Well, from the sounds that Claire makes, she starts sounding like she's running. He's doing a good job.
Exactly. But her ass must have been so sore because look at how little that ledge is. Mm-hmm. And then her butt would have been over the actual windowsill itself.
Right. And just imagine if she would have, you don't want to lose too much control.
Yeah.
Imagine going too far back. Whoop! Right out the window.
Yeah, exactly. It's too funny.
See, Jamie's having a midnight snack.
Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom.
And look, he makes the wind pick up even.
Oh, look.
That's pretty
the
cool.
Wind blows in her hair.
Yeah.
And she doesn't fall out the window.
Yeah.
It would have just been funny. The lights go up in the air and
I love
the time that she tumbled backwards. When was that? Where she fell backwards and her feet went up over her head. Oh, what scene was that?
Or was that a part in the book?
It was no. It was like an actual scene where it was in Wentworth when she got tossed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then she had a sperm. This was such a funny scene in the books. Funny scene in the books, but not sure it translated as good.
He just looks dumbfounded, and Jamie doesn't normally look dumbfounded about things. I wonder why she did it.
Well, just to see how, because when you get a new microscope, you look at everything under it, everything you can. So to see how mobile they were. It's really interesting. I wish they would have put the line in it when he was like, give them a proper burial.
Yeah. But you know what? At least they're still a Roman. They're still doing good.
Mm-hmm. It was a hilarious scene in the book. So even if you don't read the books, just look for that scene. You can Google it. You can Google sperm scene Diana Gabaldon, and it will come up, and just read the scene because it was fucking hilarious.
And I'm actually, with this scene here, I'm super surprised. I'm super surprised that they did not tell Brianna sooner. Why they waited so long.
Well, and even in the books, it was quite a while.
Yeah.
And it was something that was questionable. Diana didn't seem to really, I think, and that might be the reason why Brianna isn't such a flushed out character, doesn't seem like one that people really connect to, even in the books. For a long time, is because Diana has said herself that she was like a hard nut. Like, she has different ways she explains different characters. And it was like Brianna showed up because she had to, not necessarily because she really was an organic character. So it's and William, kind of the same thing, I think. And these are two characters that a lot of people just don't like reading about.
I know, and a lot lately over William that are finishing up to book 8. Like, I'm really surprised.
People have always hated William, and I never understood it, because he's a product of his environment. He's very much who he should be. People expect him to be just like Jamie. Kid wasn't raised with Jamie. Sorry. And he really, they say, well, he was raised by Lord John. He was kind of raised in boarding schools, and, only coming home on holidays. And like, this is, what do you really expect? But it's kind of weird, and, unduly, like, the hate is, I think it's unfounded. Because people just don't break down the concept of it, I don't think. And I don't think that they're necessarily fairly portrayed either. I think in the show, I love how the writers have worked them and adapted them, to be honest with you. I really do. And I think I love the way that Brianna has accepted it. Even though they didn't tell her any earlier. I quite like how they talked about it, and it was different in the books too. But like I said, I really do like how they adapt the show.
Well, and what I liked about their conversation is the fact that he gave her all the information on him, so that when she goes back, she could maybe look for him. I thought in the history books, I thought, oh, wow, that's really smart, considering, yes, Jamie knows her travelers, but to, kind of look us all up when you get there.
Well, and because he's the 9th Earl of Ellesmere, chances are there's going to be something about him. Right.
And I hate, Jamie always says this, when your mother left me with you in her belly, you made her go. Like, but the thing.
I don't think he intended it to sound like, it was like, how else you're going to do it? How else you going to say?
He said the same thing to Claire as well in whatever season that was.
This is a sweet scene. Because Marcelly and Fergus, like, these are their peers, right? These are people that are like the same age-ish. And so it's like having your people leaving. Like, these are your it would be really tough to have other people that were your peers taking off and leaving, and it would be like, we grew up in a military family, so like, we're always leaving our peers, and it really sucks to have them go.
Every 3 years, you developed new friends, and friends that felt like family, and poof, you're gone again.
And you can see Claire and Brianna kind of avoiding. Like, Claire doesn't want to say goodbye. Like, she's keeps on shifting her focus. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to say goodbye to my daughter. And this goodbye
was the worst.
kills me
Yeah.
every time. And she's like, because Lizzie's like, oh, how much she's gonna go with her. Like, she fully expects to be going wherever Brianna's going.
Yeah.
She has no concept of not being with Brianna.
Well, no, because she's just always been with Brianna. Why would she even think that she wouldn't go with them?
Yep. And even when Brianna says, no, you're not coming with us, she's like, okay, I'll be there in a couple of weeks. Sounds fine to me.
Yeah. She looks completely dumbfounded. What do you mean I'm staying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Personally affronted. Like,
well, because they've been so close, and she loves Brianna. And what have I done to let you down that you don't want me to go? You know?
Yeah. She's like, I've been with you through every single thing. Right.
Yeah.
And like, this is just not, and the feelings between these two people.
Yeah.
It shows you that this cast are family.
Yeah.
You know, when they say it in interviews and in conventions and stuff, when they talk about, you know, like, we are family, like, we treat each other like family, we fight like family, we love like family, we laugh like family.
Yeah.
It's scenes like this that really convince you of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think everybody shed at least one tear during this particular scene.
Oh, I was sobbing the first time I watched it.
I know.
To be honest with you, I was just like, it was like, I don't think you can, if you have ever said goodbye to your best friend, if you have ever had to leave somebody that you love, you know exactly how those two people feel.
Yeah, exactly.
It sucks.
Well, now they're back for an answer. Jamie has no choice. He's got to give them an answer, you know?
Yep.
So,
yeah, he's like, yeah. So he wants an answer. Big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I still have mixed feelings about this, you know, just on the whole, you were there when I needed you, but sorry, I can't be there when you need me.
Yeah.
Right. Even if he offered up a couple of his men to do patrols, at least it would have been something, right?
The thing is that he's not sure the committee of safety, as they're calling it, is actually a good thing. They don't know he doesn't know what they actually stand for.
Yeah.
So putting his men with them might be might be dangerous as far as he's concerned.
And I think this is his new wife, because his other wife died, of course, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, they've been married for about a year.
Yeah.
So it's not Alicia's
mama.
So yeah, this usually, so she's saying that, she's like blaming him for it. Like, she didn't fall on this. This was, wrenched,
twisted and broken. Yeah, exactly.
So she knows exactly what's going down. She's being abused. She's not, she's not a klutz.
No,
because we know how that happens. And the look on Marcelly's face, if you could get it, when right there, she's staring at him.
Well, she asked him to do something, and he's saying, "What? You're asking me for shit? Whatever."
But the glare on her face, like, I tell you, we thought, Claire could give a good stink eye. I honestly do not think any other person on this show gives a better stink eye than Marcelly.
Yeah. Oh, agreed. Marcelly just has that kickback about her that I just love. And you know what? She shouldn't hide that at all.
Oh no.
It gives her strength in this time period. You got to remember, they come from two different time periods. So Claire has grown up with that strength where it was never given to Marcelly before. She's learned that.
Well, but we also have to remember whose get she is.
Yeah.
She is Leary's daughter. So with Leary being her mom, she does have some fire that she was born with. And, though Leary uses it in one way, we have Marcelly using it in a completely different way. Still very effective. But I think Marcelly is I think we still have so much to see with what she has, around the corner. I think season 6 is going to be, I really hope we see a lot of her in season 6, but season 5 was really good with her in it too, because the butchering and the sewing and the she learned it all.
And there's the infamous template, right?
Dr. Rawlings.
Yeah.
Now, see, they were all pretty upset by Dr. Rawlings showing their women what to do to keep from getting pregnant, what to do for, all of those things. Yeah. But nobody knew who Dr. Rawlings was. Well, as if he didn't fucking hate her enough.
Yeah, now he knows she's a Dr. Rawlings. And of course, the men know about Dr. Rawlings, women ain't keeping a secret. So,
I
like this part too. I was a little surprised, but not surprised all at once,
Yeah.
Because they've got this connection, right?
Well, yeah. Ian gave his traditions, his a part of his life. He exchanged a part of his life for Roger. Right. So he needs they need help when they go to the Stones. They can't just go and leave the horse and the wagon at the Stones.
No Uber.
Right.
That far in the mountains.
No Uber, no taxi, no bus.
No. And it is it's a trek. Remember where the Stone Circle was? It wasn't just a day away.
Right. Yeah. They have to hoof her.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's giving him the land.
Yeah.
As well.
What a huge gift, right?
Yeah. Not sure that, what Ian would do with it, but it's, it's something that he'll have if he has needs of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that, look after it for me. Is that a bit of foreshadowing for them, but I was really just dying to know. And I love this part too.
Me too. Well, they always had this connection, this close relationship, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, they adore one another. And that's what I absolutely love about them. And the thing is, there's eventually a time where, we might have Lord John being, aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
So that would be really interesting. I would love to see Lord John have his own series. I think that would be great.
I have a question for you. So does Brianna eventually meet her brother?
In the books?
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know. So I'll get there sooner or later.
Yeah. And it's really sweet. They do look like the perfect BFFs kind of thing,
exactly.
It's I mean, he could never take Lizzie's place, but at the same time, they're just the sweetest together.
Well, and he is just capturing the heart of the Frasers. First, he has Jamie's son to raise as his own. Yeah. And now he has this incredibly close relationship with Jamie's daughter. So he's just got everybody in his Jamie basket going, woohoo. Now,
Yeah,
I
and
may
I
not
think
have
it's-
Jamie. I just have everything else that belongs to him.
Yeah. And then he's taking Ulysses with him too, which I
Yeah.
thought was a really creative bit of writing that they did with that
Yeah.
as well, to take Ulysses to England.
Yeah. I think that's excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they turned the line around, which Brianna used on him. They're really impossible not to like.
Right.
So that was sweet.
Aw.
Aw.
And granddad and Jimmy together.
Mhm. And see,
That's
I think they were just so focused on getting back that they, really failed to see that, that
they were
everything that
already
they
home.
had,
Mhm.
everything that they had, who are they going back to? Like they had Fiona and they had, oh gee, everybody else that they love is dead. Well, they had Joe, but they
Yeah.
didn't show in the show just how close Brianna was to Joe. Like Joe
Right.
was like Uncle Joe, right? It was,
And
and
now-
here's this one. Oh,
this is the biggest goodbye, right?
oh, it's
Again.
yeah. And how Brianna just wraps her arms around,
Less words,
yeah. Mhm.
I
They don't
love
need them.
this. I love this so much.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Thanks.
Look at Jamie just
I
looking at
literally
it.
just said that. You did it to me
That
again.
is so funny. Oh my gosh.
Yep, fork and
And then-
knife. Because what else? How else would you eat it, right?
Yeah. And look at Jamie.
Uh,
I don't think Jamie really likes it for some reason.
well, because it's odd. It's an odd combination. Yeah, and probably very sticky, sticking to the roof of your mouth, and
That's what he said. It would mend your boots as well.
yeah, like glue, right? Because it is. It's all very, sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
And
home.
Yeah, and the stop reading it, and
can't
it's and the bread back then was very, very cushiony,
Heavy.
right? And
Yeah.
heavy. So it definitely wouldn't be like eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the 70s.
No,
Or the
absolutely not.
60s. But that was something that Brianna tried to do too.
Right.
Was bring
Exactly.
recipes, pizza and stuff like that.
I'm glad they didn't show them traveling for a month.
Oh,
Because that would have been a really long episode for sure.
I don't think it was a month. I think it was maybe.
Well,
just
you
a couple of
remember
days.
when he was traveling and they were traveling, it seemed like it was quite a while, and it was about the halfway point from North Carolina to New York State where he found the stones.
I'm not sure it was that long, but I think it was, I don't know.
Well, remember he had that guy with him for the longest time,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it was after the guy passed
Yeah.
that,
Mhm. And here we go.
yeah.
Gosh, her waist is so tiny. Oh,
And I can't believe that he
both
found it
hands around it. Yeah.
and that he knew exactly where it was. That just kind of blows me away as well.
Well, it is a TV series and
Yes,
it's
I
drama,
know.
so it's
Yeah.
That's part of it, right?
And they can hear it.
Yeah. So what they've told Jemmy about this whole thing, and they're going to rope themselves together so they don't get lost, so they
Yeah.
don't end up in different places, blah blah blah. And they've likely told Jemmy to think of home.
Right. But Jemmy only knows one
Right.
home.
Exactly.
It's not the same home.
Mhm.
And because his powers are stronger.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I knew that right from the start.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, they've been gone for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
This is too much. Yeah. And see, this is like a grief, right?
Yeah.
And they know where they would be at.
That's
And-
the family. That's their only daughter, grandson, from Brianna anyway, gone again.
Yep.
She had to leave her once and now she's left her, that's hard.
Yeah. I'd be in that cabin every day crying. What you talking about?
Oh, I wouldn't let anybody stay in there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be in there every day, just crying my face off.
Yeah. I wish they would have come up with a strategy first before they left. Okay. So, go there, plant a note for me. I'll go pick it up in a year. Or I wish they would have thought about that already.
Yeah, it's pretty well, in the books it's really kind of cool. So it's just so they hear the buzzing, they're getting all ready to go, and I quite love how it all plays out. And we were when we were watching this, we were just like, oh my God,
I know.
They better do what I think they're going to do here. And I love that they did this for the show watchers, because the show watchers don't quite have all of it figured out, right? So where they were, they might not have gathered all the information together. Yeah. What did you think was going to happen when you were watching it?
For me, I don't know. I thought that they were actually just going to walk through the other side.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I thought, oh, you're completely wrong after what happened. Oh, well, okay, then I was completely wrong, because like you said, you're talking about Jemmy. I'm like, but he doesn't know, right? And it has to be something on the other side pulling you through, right? And then when he walks up, I'm like, oh shit, they did go back. I didn't know that they would be tumbling around in Never Neverland for a little while.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but there, he saw it for himself.
Right.
Just like his uncle, he actually saw it for himself. And see, that still has to be a sort of amazement for him, right?
Right. And he tried to go, and he was like, I'm going to try and leave too. Yeah. He's like, I woke up. And he's like, and I like how they ended the episode, because it's like, no, Jimmy sees somebody that he knows. So he's like, I'm off. And I knew right then, this is so awesome. They didn't fucking go anywhere. I know they didn't go anywhere. Did they go somewhere?
The moss is exactly the same, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I was surprised is that they actually left the cliffhanger, because they normally do not leave cliffhangers like that, but they did in this episode.
Yeah, which was great, because it being the penultimate. Oh my God, Fergus, stop being so fucking sexy.
As soon as I seen this sucker blew up, I knew exactly who did it. I didn't know what was going to happen next, but I thought, this is payback, buddy. Yeah. And I think they took it, like a little bit way too far.
Yeah. So the still has been blown up. So all the guys, so there goes Jamie, there goes Fergus, there goes Josiah and Ronnie Sinclair, like they're all gone. And they've left Claire and Marsley. They're working in the surgery right now.
Yeah, that's deja vu from when she did that to Jamie in the very first episode.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she fixed his put his shoulder back in joint. Yeah. It's like, wow, that was magical.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is something.
She was so good that she told him to go under, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Marsley comes out just barreling in there.
Yeah.
And this with the scissors.
And my God.
Oh, the way she hit that fucking floor.
I was just like, wow, that was awesome right there.
Man. Well, and they had it like what she landed on was very soft, I guess. But the way they sliced that together was
just crazy.
Oh, I get goosebumps watching that whole series of shots. And this was so much. So like, he is like, what the hell is going on? The bad men took grandma. And now, as we started the show, in the very first episode with the fiery cross saying, you know, that the fiery cross would not be lit unless we needed to go to war.
And for his wife, they were going to war.
And
you know,
on the ridge, this was it. They didn't do it when they went to war for Tryon.
No,
he didn't do it for any of that. But going to find Claire, going to war.
Absolutely. That's crazy. Now Jamie's uncle is going to have to make another one because this one burnt down. His real, or Sam's uncle, I should say, because he's the one that built that one.
Yeah. So get ready, people. Next episode, it's a doozy.
Holy shit, sis.
Alrighty, so this next story comes from Hello Again on BuzzFeed. And let me tell you, I would have never thought to use this device for that kind of means.
I don't know. I'm 100% positive this is a dude.
You know, I don't know how it couldn't be a dude.
But it might not be.
It might not be.
Once, when my brother was super sick with a chest cold, he had a vaporizer running in his room. My parents went out for the evening. So naturally, I peed in the vaporizer while he was asleep.
Naturally?
Naturally. When they came home and opened his door, they were greeted by a fog cloud made of my urine. Don't worry, he was fine.
Okay, so I do remember those vaporizers when we were younger that kind of look like, you know, like things that you would sit in and pee in. So this could be a woman, but come on.
Naturally, I peed in it.
Can you imagine urine fog in your bedroom?
My God, that must have just stank. And it being a sweaty,
your body would be covered in urine droplets. You're breathing in urine droplets. I'm sorry, that's just not healthy. I don't believe he's fine.
I don't believe he's fine either. How much do you have to hate your sibling?
Obviously this much. That's so disgusting.
So gross.
Yeah, pee in his
you
vaporizer,
hate your sibling.
poop in the humidifier.
The humidifier. Oh my God. How much do you hate your sibling? What did you do to scar them for life? We want to know.
Oh my God. Yeah. So send us your stories at sissues.ca or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you're a fancy peer, you can also reach us on Indeed as well, or LinkedIn. I don't even know anymore. I can be in vaporizers.